Hey guys, thanks for tuning into Red Dirt Rods. Now today I want to talk to you about a process that I've been using for over 20 years to keep anything on my vehicles that's cast iron looking fresh and clean for years and years. And that is slip plate spray graphite lubricant. Now this is a actual graphite lubricant. You can spray this on surfaces and it'll slip. You know, they use this for like grain hoppers and stuff like that. You can put it on your lawnmower blades. It helps them last longer and cut through heavier brush. This stuff has a million uses, but the one that we're using today is a little bit off label. It's actually a lot off label. We're using it as a paint, and that is because graphite, unlike all other paints, graphite is good up until about 3,600 degrees before anything happens with it. So once you spray this stuff on, the binder that binds it to the metal evaporates, and leaving just the graphite on the part. So you can use this on exhaust manifolds, which is what we're going to show you, and it won't burn off over time. Now, if you have a situation where something really hard hits it, chips it, puts a scuff or scrape in it that looks bad, you can always touch it up and it doesn't even look like a scratch that's been repainted over, because it's not actually paint, it's just graphite. It works really, really well for this. And we're going to show you guys how to do this for your project. So first thing we're going to do, we have a brand new Holley cast iron exhaust manifold. The reason we're doing this to a brand new one is so that I don't have to put this in our blast cabinet. You can easily blast any piece of cast iron to get rid of any rust that you have. You can also wire wheel it or use a wire brush to knock it off and then use this. This stuff sticks to almost anything, so it will work in most situations. But what we're wanting to do is protect these so that they don't rust up ever. So what we're going to do is lay this down on our bench. We've just got some brake clean, and we're just going to spray a light coat of brake clean on here, and we're going to use a nylon brush just to scrub up a little bit, knock off any oil or residue from the casting process. And we'll do both sides of this. This stuff evaporates pretty quick, so you don't have to worry about wiping it off and leaving lint on your cast iron. Flip it over, spray the back side. And then we're just going to spray it down from the top, bottom, let it run off. That's all there you really need to do as far as cleaning and prep work. If you have a fresh casting like this one, you just need to clean it. If you have an original piece, like an original manifold or a steering box, which I have a steering box, I'll pull that one down and show you how we did it. It's really easy, very little prep work, because this stuff sticks to just about anything. So now we just take this over to our stand and hang it. Now for this, I'm just gonna loop this around. Let's see. When you're making your loops with the baling wire, you want to make sure that you leave the loops big enough so that you don't get bare spots on your manifold. So we'll just turn that like that. And this is just a regular can of slip plate. This costs about $20. You can get it at most agricultural stores. You can get it at some Napas and some auto parts stores, and you can always find it online at Amazon or other retailers. So this does come in spray cans. It also comes in big gallons, which I have a few of those, so you can spray it if you're doing something big like a grain hopper or something. They also have some really cool other products like bar and chain oil. And one thing that I really like is their key cylinder graphite that's very similar. It comes with a little straw. You stick it into your key lock, and it keeps your key cylinder from freezing up and getting sticky. It works really, really well. I love this stuff. We just take our slip plate. We've got our manifold hanging up here. We're just gonna start spraying just like spray paint. You don't want it to run, but if it does, it's not a big deal because you can buff it off later. We'll show you that. So, you're gonna do 2, maybe 3 coats all told to get this the proper thickness that you want. It dries way faster if you spray light coats. So like I said, 2 or 3 light coats work the best. Don't worry if you miss something. This stuff blends in. It doesn't streak like regular paint. You also don't have to worry about getting it on gasket surfaces because it's not going to affect your seal, and you can always just buff it off afterwards. This stuff is not thick. It's very thin. It's not really going to affect any fitment issues, or create any fitment issues, I should say. Now we're going to let this dry for about 20 minutes, and we'll do another coat. We've done our 3 coats. We're going to go ahead and take this off of our stand here. So we've done 3 coats on this, and this is kind of what you're gonna see when you're done. Now, it did pick up some fuzzies. That's just lint from clothing and from in the air. Don't worry about that. It's not paint. You're not gonna have to worry about that being an issue. So right now, this just looks like regular old black paint. We take a cloth. Doesn't really matter what kind of cloth you use. This is just a terry cloth. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna buff this down, and that's gonna bring up a nice sheen, and that's gonna make it look just like fresh cast iron. So just like this, that's all you gotta do. Just lightly buff it. All those fuzzies come off. Any imperfections, you know, runs and whatnot, you can buff all the way down. They will smooth out. But you don't want it to run because that makes it take longer for it to dry. And the heavy runs don't tend to stick as well. And there you have it. Now that's the front side. And that's the back side. So you can kind of see the difference in the sheen. I'll go ahead and I'll buff part of this so you can see it. You see the difference there? Now this sheen, this can get 1,000 degrees. It doesn't matter. That sheen is gonna stay. It's not gonna dull out. It's not gonna get shinier. It's just gonna stay like this, and it's gonna look really good for a very, very long time. All right, so that's the cast iron manifold. And that's all there is to applying slip plate to your cast iron manifold or whatever component you're working with. This stuff will last for years and years and years. If you ever need to touch it up, you just grab it, hit it real quick, buff it off, it's done. It's that easy. I'm also going to show you guys this one right here. Now, if you've been watching the channel for very long, you might have seen our video where we rebuilt a C2 Corvette gearbox, and that's this one right here. I did the same thing with this. This is an original gearbox off a 1966 Corvette. I didn't blast it, I didn't do anything. All I did was clean the grease off, wipe it down with brake clean and hit it with a wire brush. That's it. And it came out absolutely beautiful. It looks brand new. This will look like this for the next 10 plus years, and you don't have to do anything to it. It won't rust. It'll last forever. It'll look great. Make sure you like and subscribe. Pick you up some slip plate. and coat your cast iron for your project. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Let's make magic.